Hello folks, I'm Ryan Shanahan and welcome to Rec Sport Education. Today's On the Spot episode talks about nutrition, one of the most important aspects for any athlete. Now, while I am not a dietitian, today's episode and its content all comes courtesy of a registered dietitian, an old friend of mine. And I hope you can appreciate the nice setting we're trying out today. You know, nutrition is so important. It can affect so many things in your life. If you have poor nutrition, you're more likely to get sick. You're more likely to have chronic illnesses. You're more likely to be affected by a variety of ailments, including cancers and bone issues, teeth issues later in life. But little known is that your nutrition can also affect your current life, your social life. It can affect your mood. It can make you depressed. It can make you irritable. And basically, it can make you a socialist, and I don't want that for you or myself. So getting right into our content today, the first thing to know is that there is no single dietary pattern for everyone. But in fact, many diet patterns that help maximize health, boosting your energy so you can feel your best. Understanding a good diet starts with recognizing a few basic rules that many diets have in common. We want to help you break down those diet similarities to the most fundamental food habits, starting with the quality of the food you eat. The food you take into your body is often equated with the fuel you use in a high-performance vehicle. If you want that vehicle to run well, you've got to use the highest grade fuel you can get. Lower quality fuel is simply not going to cut it. You're not going to get the performance. You're going to end up damaging that vehicle. It's the same thing with your body. Now, please keep in mind, if you do have more specific dietary needs and health goals like weight loss, sports performance, or heart health, you should meet one-on-one with your doctor or a registered dietitian. But starting with the fundamentals will put you well on your way to adding more quality years to your life. You'll have more energy, avoid and reduce the risk of many illnesses, and feel your best. Remember, a diet should become your new lifestyle. It should be your everyday habit. Think about the long term. There are no quality quick fix diets out there. And I'll say that again. There are no quality quick fix diets. Keep that in mind. So choose diet habits that are within your financial means, are simple, and have a reasonable preparation time. If you take a few minutes to consider these principles when preparing your diet plan, you'll be much more likely to succeed. Remember to keep your diet simple, but have balance across the food groups. A good rule to follow is the 80-20 rule. If you can follow it 80% of the time and leave about 20% of the time for you to be human, forgive yourself, that's a pretty reasonable expectation to hold, and should allow you to be able to live a normal life without being so interrupted by some crazy diet fad. A diet that is too strict, such as one that cuts out entire food groups, will likely lead to more cravings and slip-ups. There is no need to overly challenge yourself. What matters is consistency over time. In fact, the reason many people fail at a diet plan is that popular diet fads they're too extreme. They're often deficient in certain vitamins and minerals because they aren't balanced in the food groups. The cravings that follow are your body telling you you aren't getting some of the things you need. These difficulties often have people giving up and losing out on any progress that they've made. But following a manageable diet plan at least 80% of the time will allow you to make long-term changes and see progress that lasts. That's what we all want, isn't it? Now, according to the American Institute for Cancer Research, phytochemicals are natural plant chemicals that give plants foods their natural color, odors, flavors, and antioxidant action. Plant foods that are orange, like carrots and sweet potatoes, contain phytochemicals and phytonutrients with different health functions than purple beets or dark leafy greens. And for a reference, dark leafy greens and broccoli are an important source of vitamins and minerals for bone health and healthy DNA, while legumes like lentils, beans, peas, and soy provide a good source of iron and other minerals for metabolism and healthy muscles. We need all the color groups during the week, so go for the most colorful plate you can from day to day. Simple ways of doing this are adding a bit of color to your oatmeal with fresh berries, or mix some sauteed spinach and garlic into your mashed potatoes, and there you go. Choose whole unprocessed foods and shop the perimeter of your grocery store. The most effective diet patterns choose whole unprocessed foods and cook from scratch the majority of the time. Processed foods are pre-packaged and pre-prepared foods like boxed or bagged snack foods, desserts, and meals. But not all processing is bad. Some can actually be necessary. However, packaged and processed foods are often made with very high and unnecessary amounts of added sodium, sweeteners, enriched flours, inflammatory promoting oils such as soy, corn, and sunflower oil. Ultimately, you have less control of what you're putting into your body and how much when you're buying processed and pre-prepared foods. These processed, canned, and packaged foods most often live in the center aisles of your grocery store. Your basic whole unprocessed packaged foods like fresh produce, meats, and dairy products lie on the outer sides or the perimeter of the grocery store. Avoid these snack and packaged food aisles as much as possible. Stick to the basic foods on the store's perimeter. And remember, if you don't buy it, you won't eat it. Make at least half your meal from fruit, vegetables, and legumes. The next principle is to make at least half your plate from plant foods. If you can make your plate even more than half your meal, this can help you reach your health goals even faster. Plant foods are generally high in fiber, which expands in the gut and makes them quite filling. At the same time, they're low in calories. It's almost impossible to overeat on these foods. And I'll give you an example. Take the roasted turkey apple and cheddar sandwich from Panera Bread. It provides 710 calories of energy. That's 6 grams of fiber, 47 grams of protein, and 32 grams of fat. If you were to eat 710 calories from unprocessed plant foods, fruits, and vegetables in the same amount of time, you would need to eat 3 whole apples, 2 cups of sliced carrots, 2 cups of mixed greens, 1 cup green beans, and 1 cup of butternut squash, and a half cup of lentils. I don't know about you, but I'd be full before I eat half of that. And at the same time, you'd be getting 8 times the fiber, 100% of most vitamins, and even 100% iron, while getting an adequate amount of protein at 24 grams. This is what we call nutrient dense. A lot of nutrients in a small amount of calories. Now, the USDA and Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics both support using the My Plate Guide, which replaces the outdated My Pyramid from the early 90s. My Plate suggests making about a 1/4 of your plate protein foods like chicken, fish, tofu, beans, or eggs, and a 1/4 of your plate from starches like bread, pasta, other grains, and the foundation of your plate should be fruits and vegetables. Choose whole grains at least half of the time. Less processed whole grains provide an integral source of B vitamins, folate, minerals, and fiber. You can identify whole grains by their retention of the husky outer shell and their oily, nutrient-rich centers. How do you know if your bread, pasta, rice, or other grains are whole grains? Look at the first ingredients on the back label. It should say whole wheat, corn, barley. Now, it's my personal opinion that food manufacturers are nobody's friend. They try to be clever with their packaging to get you to buy. So don't trust what the front package claims. Always read the back. Other examples of whole grains are popcorn, quinoa, barley, oatmeal, whole grain corn, and brown rice. When in doubt, choose liquid fats. Or better yet, make it an omega-3. If your fat stays liquid at room temperature, it's an unsaturated fat, which means it is typically beneficial to your heart and that pesky cholesterol profile. Go even further by using omega-3 oils, which are anti-inflammatory and can help prevent chronic diseases like heart disease. They are found in fish oils, canola, olive, flax, walnut, and whole grains. Now, fats like butter, coconut oil, palm, lard, and animal fats and meats and dairy foods are saturated fats, which neither do harm nor good. Trans fats, on the other hand, such as solid margarine, Crisco, store-bought baked desserts and frosting are self-stable factory-made fats that are no longer recognized as safe by the FDA, but they're still found in a variety of foods. You may have noticed on the back of your food labels that there will often say 0 grams trans fat. Now, just because it says 0 grams doesn't mean it doesn't have trans fat in it. Food lobbyists managed to cut a deal where as long as there was less than 500 milligrams of trans fat in the product, they can put 0 grams. And that's the trick. So watch out for that on the back of your labels. Watch your sugar levels. Americans eat a lot of sugar, a simple carbohydrate. Almost half of our daily sugar tends to come from sweetened beverages and juices. These simple carbs provide calories without any nutrient value, such as vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, or fiber. Added sugar in beverages can easily lead to weight gain if you aren't burning a lot of calories throughout the week. Excess sugar also acts like a wire brush on your blood vessels and arteries, causing inflammation and over time leading to metabolic and heart disease. According to the USDA in 2017, on average, most Americans eat between 30 to 60 teaspoons of sugar per day. It's almost difficult not to, since food manufacturers add it to the majority of processed foods and beverages. A big reason for this is that a few decades ago, there was a trend in the diet industry away from fats. And so we started getting products like low-fat milk or no-fat milk and other low-fat products. But the problem is you can't simply remove something from a food without adding something to it. So what manufacturers did is they started adding sugar to these same products, and thus creating the major obesity epidemic in America. The 2015 dietary guidelines, however, recommend eating no more than 12 teaspoons of added sugar per day, or no more than 48 grams. 1 teaspoon of sugar contains 4 grams of carbohydrate. Now let's give you an example of how easy it is to add up. Vitamin water has 32 grams of sugar if you look at the label. Divide that by 4 grams per teaspoon, and we get 8 teaspoons of sugar in this bottle. These 8 teaspoons provide 128 empty calories that don't provide you with vitamins, minerals, or other nutrients beyond quick energy. So always read your labels. Choose unsweetened beverages that provide few to no calories. Better choices are unsweetened tea, sparkling water, milk, and fruit or citric infused water. Especially try to limit your calories from sweetened beverages. They are everywhere. They provide calories without any nutrients. They can easily lead to weight gain in someone who is not burning a lot of calories throughout the week. Here's how. Your brain doesn't register liquid calories the same as calories obtained from solid foods. 1 pound of fat is about 3,500 calories of energy. Take an average person who drinks 2 cans of soda on most days of the week. That's 300 extra calories a day and 2,100 calories in a week. That is equivalent to a little over a half of a pound of fat per week. That's 2 pounds of fat per month, or 24 pounds of fat per year. That is if you were also meeting your energy needs with regular foods each day. Now, on a side note, competitive and endurance athletes may prefer to use sweetened beverages with protein, like chocolate milk, to quickly replenish their muscles' glycogen after a workout that lasts longer than 90 minutes. Juice cleanses are dumb. If anything actually detoxes the body well, it's fiber and fluids. Fiber is the skins, peels, and fruits of vegetables that also contain many of the antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals you need. Fiber is one thing that actually physiologically cleanses your gut and additionally binds and removes cholesterol from your liver and bile ducts. So isn't it ironic that juice cleanse products have removed the cleansing fiber from your juice and thrown it away? Well, that's it for today's episode, folks. I hope you enjoyed this episode. of rec sport education. I hope you'll support the channel by leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Also, if you would leave a comment below, tell me about your diet experiences and what's worked for you, what hasn't, and what you found useful in this episode. I've been Ryan Shanahan, and I'll see you next time. Stay healthy.